But most people think that relaxation is sitting in front of the TV with a bag of chips between their legs. That's right, but it's not. Relaxation is entering into an altered state of consciousness that accesses the parasympathetic nervous system so that we can reap the medicinal benefits of it mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Current estimates show, you heard me talk about this, 78% of all visits to physicians are for stress-related disorders. This is the essence of mind-body medicine. We teach people how to effectively deal with their stress. We have no problem acknowledging the fact that psychosomatic illness is real. So why can't we acknowledge the fact that psychosomatic wellness is just as effective? For every action psychologically that's going to lead to disease, why can't we take the same action and reverse it for health and healing, and even more so, prevention? Thank you. Got a few fans out there. Meditation, hypnotherapy, autogenic training, biofeedback, guided imagery, yoga, etc. all have one thing in common. They facilitate deep relaxation through the parasympathetic nervous system. And over time and through practice, what's been shown to happen is this parasympathetic activity begins to spill into our wakeful states. So we have more and more parasympathetic, we have more and more relaxation happening on its own all day long. Parasympathetic nervous system is like a ballerina. It's very refined, it's very intelligent, it's very dynamic, it's very precise. It's the exact opposite of fight or flight. Again, rest is not relaxation. Relaxation is an activity and it's skill. It's an altered state of consciousness. It requires practice. We can learn to access this relaxation response anytime we need it. Mind-body medicine uses this. So let me get into this and I'll wrap this up real quick. Breath work is absolutely a big part of it. I'm going through just some of the really basic principles of mind-body medicine, and it really starts with breath work. Let me give you one example. It's the first way that we can consciously and most easily intervene into our physiology. Anxiety, you heard me talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about that. Most people are breathing very shallow and very high up in their lungs. So what are the two parts of breathing? Oxygen and CO2, carbon dioxide. When we're breathing shallow and high up in our lungs, what happens? Carbon dioxide settles in the bottom of our lungs. And it builds up and it builds up and it builds up in the bloodstream. So what happens? We start to suffer from CO2 poisoning. It's a toxin. So an over and under signal occurs. An over signal that something's wrong and an under signal in terms of what it is. So guess how it ends up being interpreted? Anxiety. Stress. Only because we're not breathing properly. So what happens when we breathe? We get plenty of oxygen to the cells of our body, which is the first thing we need to live. What else happens? We take a nice big deep breath, flips that switch to the parasympathetic nervous system, we get a nice free flow of beta endorphins. And emotionally, it keeps the free flow of emotions moving through our body appropriately so it doesn't store up, so it doesn't suppress. It's the first thing we do when we want to suppress emotion, don't we? We hold our breath. It's so basic. I mean, it's just breathing.